Hi, LA Weekly Asia. I'm Stephen Oyoung. 안녕하세요. 你好. 오사오가이마스. 사와디크랍. That's for all the Asians everywhere. I'm Stephen Oyoung. I play a top secret role in the next Mission Impossible 8, coming out soon in May. Check it out. My name is Stephen Oyoung. I'm an actor. I'm a former stuntman, former fight choreographer, voiceover actor, video game actor, all-around actor guy. And I'm just out here in the big world trying to make the dream happen. You know, it all started with a boy and his dream. When I was a kid, I was always the class clown. So I was in some high school plays because my older brother basically got me into these plays without even auditioning. They just needed a little kid that would say some stuff, and I was willing to do it. So, lesson number one, everybody, it's who you know. That's definitely this business. For me, I was very lucky. My parents were very supportive. They knew I wanted to possibly explore acting, and they said, go for it. At the time, I was super into martial arts. Matrix had come out, so I wanted to be like the next Bruce Lee. But I didn't really know how to do that, right? So after college, I had all this training, and I wanted to be this action actor, but how do you go about doing it? So I started in stunts. My first job was at Pirates Dinner Adventure in Buena Park, which is basically like medieval times, except instead of having knights on horseback, there were pirates on a ship. Because of that show, I met a lot of people who were stunt professionals in Hollywood. And once that started, I just kind of built a career from being a stunt performer to being a fight choreographer. And then around 2015, I just said, okay, I have to go back to being the actor. The first time I did a video game where it was my face and my voice was what people know me for, Spider-Man, 2018, Mr. Negative, which was life-changing for me. They didn't have to use my face, they didn't have to use my motion, my anything, but they did. So I'm forever grateful to Sony and Insomniac, and here we are. Now, all that is to say what? I started in, I want to say 2006. I got my SAG card, and now it's 2025, and Mission Impossible is coming out. It's a wild ride. Funny story about Mission Impossible. The first time I was dating my wife, I think like 2 years ago, we went on a trip to Korea, and I love to work. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll stop a trip short if I have to go back to work. That's how much I love to act. But my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, was a little bit not happy with this idea. And I said, you know what? That's fair. I'm getting older, I need to prioritize relationships over work sometimes, right? And then I turned and I said, out of nowhere, if Tom Cruise calls, you gotta let me go. And literally 5-6 months later, Mission Impossible called. The week I was about to get married, I was really dreading having to tell my wife, hey, I may not be able to get married, I may have to go. But thankfully it was a Zoom call and everything worked out. But yeah, so that's my Tom Cruise story, and also my wife is my good luck charm. So thank you, wife, good job. I mean, I have many idols, many acting idols. Thankfully I've been able to work with a lot of them, but Tom Cruise, Jackie Chan. I gotta say, we're all Asian, we know who Jackie Chan is. Tom Cruise is like that. So yes, he does all of his own stunts. We're shooting the scenes and then he takes a week off. And I'm like, well, why is Tom Cruise taking a week off? No judgment, I'm just asking. And it turns out because, oh, they need to go down the country in England to have him hanging off of a plane. That's what you saw in the trailer. But we didn't know when we were filming what they were doing. So the week after they had filmed that, you know, we see these pictures from the paparazzi, the leaks on the internet, and it's like, oh, that's what you were doing, Tom. So yeah, the guy does all of his own stunts. He trains like a madman. Oh, all I can say is, I saw like a 20-minute cut. As a huge fan, it even blew my expectations wide open. I mean, all the things that they talked about in the press where people were having heart attacks, it was just defied expectation. It really felt like that. I think they blew out all the stops on this Mission Impossible. So as far as what I can share with you, you know, what is Mission Impossible without secrets? We sign NDAs, we're sworn to secrecy, but all I can say is they have one of the craziest underwater sequences and one of the craziest air sequences you have ever seen in any movie, ever, period. You know, I always loved martial arts growing up. My father, he was a practitioner of judo and suaijiao, and he also did kung fu when he was growing up. So all my life as a kid, I always looked at my dad as this amazing martial artist and kung fu master. And he was also a mechanical engineer. So I was like, you know, there's this dichotomy going on. I picked up kung fu when I was in high school, and then I got obsessed with it in college. My father even took me to Beijing Sasahai, which is the sports university that Jet Li went to, Donnie Yen went to. So I was very lucky to be able to train, you know, just as a very bad student, but I was able to train with China's like elite wushu team. So once I learned all that stuff, that's when I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to tackle Hollywood. And so these wushu skills translated into the stunt world. As a martial artist, you pick up all kinds of arts, basically. No art is the superior art, right? If anything, the superior art is maybe negotiation. Like if you're about to get in a fight, I'm gonna sue you, something like that. That's probably better than actually fighting. Well, first, you just gotta do what the producer and director says. But I think generally, it's like acting. You're gonna look at what the character is and what the character's background is, and you're gonna pull from there. I think back in the day, it used to be, hey, whatever looks coolest, throw that in there, right? But as you progress in your career, you start to realize like people don't really care about the moves. What people care about is story. So if you have to pull from different disciplines to make the story flow better, that's what you do. I'll just have to say, all Hollywood is challenges. You have to tell yourself it's never personal, it's just business. 99% of this business is rejection. How I would recommend anyone deal with it is maybe two things. Get another hobby, because if acting and entertainment and this business of Hollywood is your only source of your identity or your joy, you're gonna have a very tough time. Truthfully, when I work in entertainment, you know, I'm not working every day. There are some actors who are very blessed to work all the time, but the majority of actors don't. There's a big life that's outside of entertainment. Just go out, live life. And then number two, here's the metaphor. When a fisherman can't go out to sea because there's a storm, the fisherman works on his nets. All that is to say, if you didn't get the job, what do you have to do? You have to train and never quit. So these are the three things. That's it. Get a hobby, train, never quit. If you've got the skill, the physical skill to do the thing, then I think stunts is a little more open to what you look like. Whereas acting, it can be very dependent on, okay, we need you to look a specific way. So I do think stunts is a little more open in that regard. Now, having said that, the challenge in stunts is you have to be physically very good at whatever your chosen discipline is. You know, so a lot of people ask me, how do you get into stunts? And I always say, you have to be the best at some sport, because stunts is all physicality. Whereas sometimes I think with acting, you can just kind of get by with good looks. I mean, look at me. Built my whole career like that. So that's a good question. Yeah, that's a tough question. For me anyways, when you're doing voice work, your instrument, oh man, this is gonna sound super hilarious. But your instrument, right? Usually when you're doing regular acting, you have your face and you have your voice and you have your movement. When you're doing voice acting, it's literally just your voice. You might actually have to ramp up your physicality because it needs to funnel into the vocal performance. And then the other thing that you prepare for is, what is the hey, we all know it, the Chinese herbal syrup, Pi Pa Gao? Pi Pa Gao. Hey, that's everybody's secret weapon, you know? Go to Ranch 99, get some Pi Pa Gao, down that bad boy like it's Coca-Cola. That's pretty much the difference. You know, anytime anybody asks me, oh, what kind of voiceover do you want to do? I always, anime. Give me some anime. Not only because I think the anime voiceovers are very cool, but also, come on. Like once you get in one of these really popular anime shows, you'd never stop seeing me at a convention. That's one thing I'll say about the anime community. They're so passionate. So that is something that I would die to get into. In this challenge, 5 classic movie characters along with their iconic lines will be given. Please reinterpret these lines in your own unique way. Let's go! Ooh, I love this one. All right. No, don't say your goodbyes, Rose. Don't you give up. Don't do it. You're gonna get out of this. Buzz Lightyear to Star Command. Come in, Star Command. Star Command, come in. Do you read me? Why don't they answer? My ship, blast! This will take weeks to repair.
Now, if you two don't mind, I'm going to bed before either of you come up with another clever idea to get us killed. Or worse, expelled. Love is putting someone else's needs before yours. Like, you know, how Kristoff brought you back here to Hans and left you forever. You really don't know anything about love, do you? Some people are worth melting for. Just maybe not right this second.
Woo, I'm sweating. All right, here we go. And my favorite, Bane, The Dark Knight Rises. Ah, you fight like a younger man, with nothing held back. Admirable, but mistaken. Oh, you think darkness is your ally, but you were merely adopted in the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. I love this movie. Oh, favorite restaurants around here. Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Sushi Gen. Best sushi spot in all of Southern California, I would say. And I shouldn't have told any of you that because now it's gonna be even more packed. And then there's a little noodle shop right next door. I don't know the name of, but they have this amazing uni pasta, which is my wife's favorite dish. Little Tokyo, everybody. This is where it's at. Thank you so much, LA Weekly Asia, for the awesome interview. Bella, you're amazing. The crew, great. And be sure to check me out on Mission Impossible. Check it out in May.